So it's about 7 o'clock, and I'm just waking up. I was in bed around 11, but I kind of forced myself to go to bed. I could have probably been up for another 5 or 6 hours. I was mostly concerned about my arm. I don't know if you can see the veins in my arm. It's gotten a lot better. Um, but I hadn't really eaten much in the last couple of days. I mean, I got that pizza on Thursday night, or Friday morning, and then I got a bunch of Doritos and stuff on Saturday, and that's all I'd eaten. So I hadn't had a meal since like Wednesday, and today was, or today is Tuesday. So I've been noticing that my veins were starting to kind of like pop out of my arm, um, and I have noticed this happens before, and it's from not eating enough. Um, you know how they say, you're so skinny you can see your veins. Well, that happens from time to time, and I need to sit down and eat, and then like come down off the coffee, and just kind of like center myself and just like chill out for a little bit and relax. That said, I wasn't tired at all, and it took a while to get to sleep, so I might end up going back to sleep. But I kind of had to do that, just to kind of just like relax, chill out. And now I need to make sure that I actually eat every day, whether I need it or not. Um, I know a lot of people have problems with eating too much. I'm constantly forcing myself to make sure that I eat enough. It's not like bulimia or anything. I mean, although I am conscious about my weight, but it's not really that. It's more a time issue. I'm the type of person that would love to just like, if I could just like pop some pills in the morning, and that was my feeding part of the day. That would be great. No time wasted. But it's just the idea of okay, I gotta spend 20 minutes making something, and then 20 minutes eating, and then I gotta do the dishes, and then it's just, it's not even laziness. It's just I would rather be doing something else. So it's a process of pulling myself away from this other thing that I'm doing and forcing myself to actually eat. It's been less of a problem recently because the system's been down, but as soon as the system comes back up, it's the same thing again. It's like, forcing myself to sit down and eat and realizing, shit, my blood vessels are coming out of my arms because I didn't eat this week, and so I need to eat now, before I get, again, even though I just ate before I went to bed, I need to eat again, and then get back to work. What can I get done today? I could maybe get the record done today. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. Anyways. Okay, so it's a little after 3. I rolled just about everything else out. It's, I have 2 mixes left to do, and they're both at the same track. It's not yet clear, whether or not I'm going to add extra MIDI sequencing to the final electronic version of it. There were those 2 tracks that I was thinking of. I did it for Confused. I'm still thinking about it for this one, although it's not as clear, because I don't have extra files of it. If I do anything, what I'm thinking is I'll probably take the existing sequencer part and run it through an update in the sound fonts, so that the strings sound a little bit more realistic. But that's really probably the only thing to do with that. I have made some progress with this. I've ruled out the electronics. You can't tell the difference in the EQ difference. And I've reconstructed a little bit of the logic on the bass. It's kind of coming back a little, although it's still kind of blurry. I think that the way I had it set up was the way I wanted it. And I'll have to, I really think it's down to my ears, rather than checking null files and making sure everything's mathematically correct. I really think I just need to listen to it. I have a little bit less than a pack of cigarettes left. Presuming that this goes fine, I expect that to be the last of it. I'm a little bit late. I wanted to give myself a week before I switched over to the estrogen boost. Um, so I'm thinking that's probably going to happen around my birthday. Um, it might even I might just put it off until my birthday. The Christmas present. It's I intended it to last until New Year's. It's going to last longer than that. It's just you don't need a lot of Christmas present. Um, and so when Christmas presents are legal, I think that it will do a lot to make it so that the amount of Christmas present that's purchased is more useful for the task at hand. I mostly use Christmas presents around Christmas, and I mean, I might open the odd Christmas present if I'm out at a concert or something. But besides that, the only other time where I really get into the Christmas presents is when I'm done a project, because the music that I mix is really meant to be listened to under the influence of Christmas presents. So it's a part of the process. Being able to walk down to the store and buy myself a Christmas present. Uh, like I say, it'll help regulate the amount so that it's not about where can I find a Christmas present. I gotta I'm only gonna get a Christmas present once this month, so I gotta make sure I get a big enough present that it'll last the whole month, kind of thing. So it's just it will better target that, so that actually I probably will end up buying less Christmas presents, because I'll know how much of the Christmas present I need at any specific time, rather than having to plan around it and everything. So like I say, it's really just it's mostly a listening process from this point on. I don't think it'll take much longer than like this could be done today, or it could be done tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be longer than that. So the amount of cigarettes I have should last me that long, and should actually last me for the bulk of the cleaning process that I'm going to have to go through when this gets finished. This is it's progressing, it's going well, and it's really just 2 mixes left, and then I'm done, finally. So it's about 8 o'clock, and I think I finally figured out what I did with the bass on this track. I figured this out by sorting through old posts that I had made on my Facebook page to try to figure out if I had written anything down that might make sense, and I had. What I had then done was I had split the bass into 4 different components. One of them was high upper strings, the other one is high open strings, the second one is low open strings, the third one is like fingered, like plucky bass, and the fourth one was pick. And the reason I did that is because, if I was to do this track now from scratch, I would record like 15 bass parts, and I would record them all differently because I would want different sounds for each section. For this part, I would want a really boomy. For one section, I would want a really boomy bass part. For another one, I would want to use it with a pick, and you can't do that properly if you're doing it all in one take. But that's what I did on the track, and when I recorded it in 1998, I did the old pick in the teeth thing, and pull it out and just started railing on it halfway through the song, right? So I had split it up for that reason, so that I could equalize the different parts separately and then mix them together. So that's the struggle, was just figuring out, okay, what were these tracks that I've got it all split up into? Why did I do that? What was I doing? It's now crystal clear, and I really think I should get this done this afternoon. Although I must say that this eating thing has caught up on me. This is going to be I'm not going to eat right now. I'll probably eat around 10 or 11, but this is going to be my third meal in 24 hours. It's very unusual for me. Um, I guess all those chips didn't really um, get my body what it needed, which is obvious. It's funny with me specifically because I have a really, really fast metabolism. I've always had absurdly fast. It's never been clear to me, is my metabolism fast because it's really efficient, or is it fast because it's not getting, it's not working right? Because I will eat, and within a half an hour, I'll be shooting it right back out. And I mean, it's always like healthy, solid poop that comes out, right? But it's just the speed of it that's really rather astonishing. Um, like I say, sometimes it'll be like a half an hour, and it's just it's a perfectly healthy poop, but it's just in and out. Um, it's hard to imagine that my body was really working that way. So what happened when I started eating? I noticed that it was like I think my body was kind of like hanging onto those chips as like thinking, is this really the best you can do? We'll hang on to this. We'll see what we can do with it, but we're just gonna kind of put it aside and wait for something better. And as soon as like some real food got in, the chips just got like ejected. Like this is not good enough. Give me some real food, kind of thing. So I think that's why I'm that extra little bit hungry, even though I mean, chips are high in fat. Uh, the ones I was eating were Doritos and Cheetos. Although I had a lot of popcorn though too. And popcorn is something else. Um, but I mean, it was enough that I wasn't hungry. So but um, it was an illusion. I really was hungry. I really did need more food. Hopefully that stabilizes within a day or two, and I can get back to my normal eating schedule. I think that it's probably going to be a few more days where I'm eating a little bit more than I should be, which is just proof that I'm not bulimic. I know that I have been accused of it in the past, and I am not. It's just I don't like to take the time. Really, I should be eating right now, but I want to finish this or get to a point to it, and I'll push myself until I fall over. Not because, of some aversion to food, just because I'd rather be doing something else than eating. But that was just a little stop in, an update. It was worth recording that I figured out my 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 riddle in my bass sequencing. Um, I'm also thinking that I'm gonna for this track. This is really the only track so far that I've run into where I really actually want to go back to the to the demo version and lift noises off of it. Um, the track is kind of there's noise parts at the beginning and the end that are kind of integral to the track. It's the first time I've run across this, but I am going to go over probably all of the tracks to see if there's anything I might want to reintegrate. And that will certainly end up in the electronic version. So it's going to be a bit before I start sequencing it. Although I will need to do, if I do add extra parts, I'll need to do a version with that too. It'll be just like confused where there's like a bunch of different versions. Regarding singles, that's something else that I took a look at this morning. Ideas on how to compile singles. There's a few that I might want to combine. For example, I might want to make like a punk themed EP that just collects a bunch, like all the different versions of a couple of punk songs. I don't think I'll do that. I don't think it's strong enough. And if I do that, I want to put a compilation off later, maybe for the end of the second period. But those are the kinds of things I'm looking at. I do think there's, if I'm going to do any of them, I should do all of them. I'm really seriously considering just relabeling it. I really think that's the best thing to do. But yeah, I'm back to work now. It's about 9:30, and I'm pretty sure I've got the right ingredients in the right places. I just need to set the levels and check for EQ resets, those sorts of things. I it's not far from being done. But I think I more want to record an issue with another cat in the neighborhood. Um, about a year ago, I became convinced that there was a cougar in the neighborhood. Now, I pointed out before that I have an irrational fear of cougars. I I think it stems from. I'm not sure if it was my overactive imagination as a child, combined with the fact that I studied cat lineages, that made me convinced that there was large that there was a species of panther living in my neighborhood. I was at that age where you see things. But I scared myself a few times, one way or the other, and it has seated itself in an irrational fear of cougars in places where there probably aren't really cougars, like on the outskirts of downtown Windsor. But I saw something last year. It was about a year ago, almost exactly. And I mean, it was kind of dusky, and it was from a distance, and it was kind of in that middle point where it was either a very large house cat or it was a juvenile mountain lion. I didn't think that the evidence that I had was actionable in any, like, I didn't call the cops to come get the cougar kind of thing, but I did send an email out to a professor at the local university asking them to investigate the possibility that there may be a breeding cougar in the neighborhood. I just decided that the better approach was to get the scientists on it than to get the cops on it, one way or the other. With the deficit of evidence, if they could get some evidence, then they could take it to the people that need to deal with it, kind of thing, right? And they sort of forgot about it. I mean, the irrational fear of cougars is persistent, but I had forgotten that there was a specific cat that looked like one around the neighborhood. I just saw that cat. Oh, low battery. That's actually useful that I don't have to charge for this. At first I hated the batteries, but on second thought it makes more sense. Anyways, I just saw that cat walk up to the window when I was having a cigarette. And it is indeed an unusually large house cat of cream-colored coat with an unusually long tail. The initial evidence that kind of tipped me off was that there was a little bit of snow on the ground, and I saw footprints. I initially thought they were coyote footprints, actually. I was thinking maybe there was a coy wolf, which is a more reasonable thought. But then I noticed that I did a little bit of research, and they were more like cat paws. And I started noticing that there were like tail marks, and it added up more to a very large cat. And that cat was the size of a small coyote, anyways. But I got a good look at it, and it's a house cat. But it again brings back to the old question. I mean, this is not the one I was worried about. This is another house cat that is large. How big does a house cat get before you start being a little bit freaked out about it? This one was interesting because it did have. I mean, I mentioned that the first one that I've been eyeing for a bit, that I see more frequently, has the kind of cheetah shoulders. This one was marked out by its long tail. You don't normally see tails like that on a house cat. It was more of a cougar type, kind of like bobby up and then kind of downish kind of tail. Which is kind of curious because I don't see that cat. Like, I think it's probably the first time I've seen that cat since last year. And like it it stopped at the window and it looked at the crack and it was clearly asking the question, "Can I get in there?" Um, I don't know. Nobody's been eaten yet. Um, so if I don't even think there's been any attacks yet. But the cats around here, they're up to no good, I must say. Um, but that at least resolves that question that I had forgotten about, anyways, in my mind. That it's there's definitely an unusually large house cat of cougar color in the neighborhood. Um, it may possibly be several generations removed and have picked up some um, wilder characteristics that strike me as somewhat unsettling. But it is clearly um, of domestic cat origin. I'm not sure how much of a. I'm not sure how relieving that really truly is, though. Anyways, I'm gonna get something to eat.